Coming to you from a wrong turn off Route 66. Somewhere in the Sonoran Desert, it's James Out West, featuring Ryan Rooks.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, James Out West, Wednesday, November 18th, 2020.
It's getting into it. Thanksgiving next week?
Bro.
Crazy.
I am so excited. First off, we had one hell of a week 10 in the NFL. We had great games. We had down to the wire.
Winning.
We had lots of picks against the spread. We had guys show up and show out. We had ribs cracked. We had guys stepping out at the one. We had 59-yarders for the win. There's a lot of stuff in week 10, baby.
Dude, there's a lot of times where, like, there's games that are boring, so, like, I'll have to just, like, log in and watching one game, you know, watching Cleveland or, you know, watching my Niners or, you know, whatever it may be. Dude, I had to keep up all the games. It was so exciting to watch. There was an amazing amount of games. It was good. And it was bad.
Yeah.
For certain people.
For some of the betting, oh, my goodness.
Yes.
So let's get right to the local team, Arizona Cardinals. Hail
Murray.
With 34 seconds, they get the ball after Josh Allen moves right down the field and scores what they believe to be a game-winning touchdown.
He won that game for them. He did it again.
Everything he needed to do.
But
Kyler Murray rolling to the opposite side, shaking a defender.
Hips, that quick to get to that side, to give that time to Hop.
And Hop knew the minute it went up that he was catching that ball.
He went up and snatched. There were two people, and then a third coming in. Well, and that was impressive.
I will tell you this. Well, when you have three human beings and you have one avatar, the avatar is going to win every time.
Yes. That was amazing. And what's funny is that even Kyler Murray had to look back because he couldn't see.
Yeah.
He wasn't tall enough to see, so he had to look back at the Jumbotron the other way. And then that's how we found out they won.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. But that was an amazing play.
And with that, they scored over the allotted number of points in a bet that I won $600 on.
Nice.
All while celebrating to just get kicked in the junk because they kneeled on the extra point and didn't kick it, which I understand. They guaranteed a victory, but they didn't cover the 2.5.
Hurts. It's one of those things.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Same thing as Nick Chubb stepping out at the one.
Yeah.
Great football acumen play. Was the right thing to do according to what they said.
But they guaranteed the win by doing it.
He forgot that he was supposed to step out. He almost scored a touchdown. He remembered at the 10-yard line, he said, and he didn't want to try to go down because he's 230 pounds. Figured his body would take him into the end zone. So he made a left-hand turn at the one and stepped out.
Saw that
the spread was 4 at the end. We had it at 3, so we're all right.
So we covered.
But everybody else did not. They watched their money run right out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Yep.
It was awesome and sad. So this is the theme of the show.
Yeah.
Awesome
and sad.
And terrible. Yeah. That's good and terrible.
It's good for us because we're coming off of an awesome week.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yes. Okay.
We hit quite a few of them. The Green Bay game gave us fits. They didn't cover. Giants.
That was rough. Baltimore.
That's basically it. Minnesota did what they were supposed to do. Chicago's terrible offense. They shouldn't have went to Nick Foles. He's garbage. They should have stuck with Mitchell Trubisky. Now they're going to have to go back. How do you do that?
But he's 3-0. He hasn't lost.
Who?
Trubisky.
You're right. Trubisky's undefeated.
Correct. So going back to him, that might be like you got to at least. If there's any like excitement for Chicago,
this is a factual statement. Ben Roethlisberger and Mitchell Trubisky are the only undefeated quarterbacks in the NFL this season. I'm just saying.
Come up, Chicago.
I'm just saying.
You're welcome.
Because their defense is world-class caliber.
But their offense is terrible.
They lost to an 0-9 Kirk Cousins on Monday Night Football at home.
And now, yeah.
Which I'm glad. I mean, we took Minnesota, so we knew. But Drew Brizzle, getting literally the insides of him broken.
Because of the worst call of the year. That was not roughing the passer. Street should have got his first NFL sack. He did not hit him high. He did not hit him low.
He did not go
hard. Helmet. He bear hugged him to the floor. If you're teaching somebody
quintessential way
how
to
to
sack
tackle, how do you teach somebody how to tackle? That
Wrap
was
up.
perfect. That's BS call, but it also led to 5 broken ribs and a punctured lung. And supposedly out for 2 weeks.
There's no way. There's no way he's coming back after 2 weeks.
No.
He will be back in December, ladies and gentlemen, probably right before Christmas. Maybe.
And depending on how they're playing, see with what happens. But yeah, I don't see him back in 2 weeks. No way. All right.
Well, this week, hopefully, in the way that these games are lined up, is going to be just as exciting as last week. We should have some nail biters. We should have some close, good games. It's going to be one of those things where I don't know which game I want to watch more. But we'll start with where we always start, and that's Thursday Night Football.
It's going to be a good one.
You got the AZ Cardinals coming off of what we just spoke about, this amazing top 10 Arizona Cardinal game of all time.
Yeah.
At a dwindling Seattle Seahawks. If this was a regular season, if they had the 12th man, if this wasn't Russell Wilson trying to do everything and then some, Seattle -3 at home is a nice bet on a Thursday night, but they just lost 2 in a row. They are on the die. The Cardinals are on the up. The swag of Kyler Murray, like we spoke about earlier.
Yep.
I was a disbeliever. Now I'm a believer. K1 for the real.
Yeah.
I'm taking Arizona +3 all day because I think they win this game outright.
This is rough to see because we were talking about Russell Wilson as an MVP candidate, but you're looking at how many turnovers. What he had 3 turnovers last week, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. He's got 10 interceptions on the year. He's obviously he's trying to do everything.
He's trying to do too much.
But he's trying to do too much. That interception that he threw to the left in the end zone, he could have ran that in, and that it's not. He doesn't look right. The defense doesn't look right, and like you said, Arizona is on the up. I think they're feeling that swag. I'm going to take Arizona with the points on here.
Absolutely. Now, this next game we talked about earlier before in the pre-show meeting.
Yes.
Cincinnati at Washington football team. I won't make the mistake.
Good
again.
job. You got it right.
Washington -1.5 at home. I'm not feeling that one bit. I think Joey Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals go into Washington. They don't know what they're doing. Alex Smith, I mean, it's a miracle that he's walking, let alone playing football.
It's amazing.
And he's the starter, and maybe this is what I thought would happen 2 weeks ago was, they're going to rally around him, and it didn't happen. So I'm not going to say that again. I'm going to keep going with the trend. They're going to lose. They'll score some points. Since he can score some points, Cincinnati's going to win this game because they're +1.5.
Yeah, this makes it very easy with the spread on this with the 1.5. Washington does not look good. As much as I love Alex Smith, he's Alex Smith, but a couple years older. He's not going to win you games, and that team is not built right now to be winning. It does not look like it to me. I absolutely believe more in Burrow, and I'm taking Cincy.
All right, now this game.
So
typically in most years, this would be on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Falcons at New Orleans.
Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, primetime.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No Drew Brees. We got Jameis Winston, who just had corrective eye surgery in the offseason, so now he's not going to throw 30 picks, at least in this game.
Hopefully.
-5 at home. Falcons coming to town. Falcons can score. They're kind of in disarray. They've obviously cashed in that they're not trying to win.
Yeah.
With them trying to ship out Tack McKinley and a few other people. It's hard for me to pick Jameis Winston, but they're going to be able to throw the ball downfield.
Agreed.
A lot of Alvin Kamara, a heavy dose of Alvin Kamara. Inside, Atlanta's going to put up a fight. Could I see Atlanta winning this game? Yes, but I will take New Orleans -5.
I think this is going to be interesting. If Breeze was in and he was healthy, I think this is hands down. They're coming off of a 6-game win streak.
Yeah.
But the Falcons are coming off of a bye. And I feel like this is one of those games where Atlanta's that sneaky. They're kind of like the LA Rams to me. Like they have those games where they kill it.
For sure.
And I feel like they're going to cover. So I don't know if I'm taking Atlanta with the points with the -5.
Okay. Now, like we spoke about earlier, Cleveland didn't cover. They haven't covered the majority of this season, whether it's on a missed extra point, running out of bounds at the 1, losing the game straight up. They don't cover this year. Cleveland weather and the winds will be swirling again. Lake effect, yada, yada, yada. The Philadelphia Eagles look like trash.
They're playing the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles right now are a representation of their city. They're a dumpster fire.
And all of the excuses that Wentz is giving in his interview, they're a dysfunctional team right now. Frustrating because, like, you saw what they were. I mean, when they went to the Super Bowl, like that it was exciting. And then you realize maybe was that just like Nick Foles like killing it?
It was a fluke. It was a fluke. They were right. They were hot at the right time. Healthy. Well, as healthy as a team could be.
Healthy enough. They had a good defense. They had a good running game. It worked. You get it. But I don't think Philly is right. And I think Cleveland actually is they got their running game back. You guys look good.
Yes, when both guys carry the ball for 19 times and each of them are over 100, that means you controlled the clock.
Yeah.
You kept the ball out of a playmaker's hand like Deshaun Watson, which is what you'll have to do against like Kansas City and Pittsburgh and especially Baltimore. Got to keep that. You want to beat them teams, you got to keep the ball out of their hands. Aaron Rodgers got to keep the ball out of his hands.
And you got Myles Garrett looking good.
Looking like a defensive player of the year, which he absolutely should be. He's number 1 in sacks, number 1 in forced fumbles, number 1 in QB hits. The guy, I think he's 2 in fumble recoveries.
Yeah.
He's a one-man wrecking crew. He changes the game. He's as fast as some of these quarterbacks. He's as big as the biggest lineman there is. And other than trying to kill another human being with a football helmet, guy's a stand-up, salt of the earth, different kind of cat that you would want on your team for 10, 15 years. A guy you would want your children to be rooting for.
So are you taking Cleveland?
Oh, boy. I think they're going to win, but I can't take them to cover. They haven't covered all damn year.
You're not going to give the 3.5?
I'm not giving. I would buy the hook. I'd buy the hook.
Is that our? Oh no, that's our second.
Yeah,
that's our back-to-back.
I mean, I have them circled here minus 3.5. I can't.
Okay, all right.
I can't.
All right.
I can't do it. Won't do it. Sound like Mike Singletary. Can't do it. Can't win with them.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Just one of those nights. It's okay.
Absolutely.
We get it. All right. So this is going to be interesting.
So the Detroit Lions coming off of a 59-yard for the brand. Matt Prater up through the uprights. Game winner.
Yeah. Stafford played, which we said that.
We weren't sure. If he did, we would pick, which we did because he did.
Yep. So that worked out. But
there's the Carolina Panthers. No CMC.
And we did hear that Bridgewater is practicing. So he was actually wearing the red jersey today, throwing the ball a little bit. I expect him to play.
I expect him to win.
I agree. That I think that's a pretty
minus 1.5.
Yeah.
The only thing is Detroit tends to once, twice a year win a game they have no business winning. This isn't really one of those games, but I just don't. It's Detroit, man. I'm sorry. They don't win back-to-back games.
No.
They don't. They don't win back-to-back games.
And that spread, I think, is an easy pick.
Yeah, that's you telling. Well, I mean, that's giving them some love because it should be 3 at home.
Right, but no. Yeah.
I'm still taking the Carolina Panthers minus 1.5. Their receiving core, because they use Mike Davis so much out of the backfield. Carolina, as long as Teddy's dinking and dunking, it's an extension of the run game. You're controlling the clock. You're keeping the ball out of Matty Stafford's hands.
And they're looking a little bit better. They're making some decent. I think the way that the plays and the play calling is looking a lot better than at least it was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Agreed.
All right. So
New England at Houston. Whew. Okay, so we just talked about, New England beat Baltimore in a horrendous weather situation at home.
Horrible weather, but they ran it.
They did what they needed to do to win that game. Bottom line, they did what they needed to do to win that game. This is in Houston.
I think they got lucky that they did what they needed to do.
Well, they say Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots control the weather up there. They've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
So I could see that. Well, he can't control the weather in Houston. Doesn't matter because it's indoor.
Okay.
It's going to be in the dome on fast grass.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson's going to be able to use and exploit his speed, his elusiveness, his ability to extend plays. New England's light on the back end. They've got a lot of injuries. They still, if I'm not mistaken, Cam Newton's still the quarterback. Cam Newton can't throw the ball for over 150 yards in the game. No. Houston still has J.J. Watt, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Houston +2.
We talked about this, and I've gone back and forth. I initially picked New England, but, man, I don't think I've ever done this, but I think you talked me into picking Houston.
Man, good to know that I have influence over you, my brother.
Every once in a minute, your
I'm right.
old Wiseman gets me. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's New England won that game because it was in the rain. They were able to run it. I think Baltimore didn't have I think they had a more of a passing attack.
Yes,
plan,
I agree.
And then that just didn't work, and they couldn't adjust. So no, I don't trust New England. I'm taking Houston. I agree. All right, this is a big one. Plus
Man,
10.
let me tell you what. This is a lot of points.
Yeah.
10 in Jacksonville.
You gonna bet on this one?
No. What if it's raining? Like, it tends to rain in Florida.
Well, they have that storm coming off the.
It tends to rain. So we could have swirly winds and rain.
Yeah.
You got a quarterback that nobody knew his name 2 weeks ago. I still can't pronounce it.
Correct.
Pittsburgh coming off of a decisive win in Cincinnati.
But are they going to play like a Dallas game and play down, or are they going to just.
I think that they feel that they're disrespected.
I agree.
Do I think they cover 10? Man, that's a tough one. I'm going to take Pitt minus the 10, but I would not bet this game. This is not a betting game for me. But because we're making the pick, I would take Pittsburgh minus 10. But, man, that's a lot. I guess the caveat is if the weather's crazy, I'm going to say no, I'd take Jacksonville plus 10. But if the weather goes crazy, watch that number drop.
I agree. That's a
that
very,
number will
very
drop.
Good point as far as with the weather. I would take Pittsburgh because I don't think that they're going to feel they want to show up. Like, they felt that pressure because what they did with Dallas and in certain games. Like, people are judging them, saying that now Kansas City's, the number one team.
Yeah.
So I see them covering this. I wouldn't bet it, but I still pick Pittsburgh.
Oh, boy. So we just talked about the Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
They're at home against a struggling. Let me get my Joe Namath Monday Night Football. I'm struggling.
Oh, man.
Tennessee Titans at Baltimore, who got smacked in the mouth in a bad weather game like we talked about. They're minus 6.5.
And started the year off strong.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They were looking like contenders, and then all of a sudden,
I think reality hit them. Their offense isn't as creative as they thought they were. And Lamar Jackson even alluded to that in an interview, saying that he basically feels like the other teams know what they're going to call.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty... but it's also, I don't care if they know what we're going to call, because he is electric and is going to make plays.
Right.
Minus 6.5, boy, as much as I want to see Baltimore lose this game, I don't see it happening. Minus 6.5 is a lot. I got Baltimore winning by 10. I think Tennessee can't keep up with them offensively. I think this is going to be a Lamar Jackson type game.
Yeah.
2 running touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. They're going to score 31 points. I know I'm being pretty specific, but Tennessee doesn't score 31 points, I think, against the Baltimore Raven defense.
I think Baltimore's going to show up. They're going to do what they game plan for last week, and they're gonna have that game that they're gonna prove some things right now. I think they definitely need that. Tennessee is just not right. I love Tennessee at the beginning of the year.
And remember,
Henry
they're down.
is a beast, but that's not enough.
And remember, they're down their starting left tackle.
Yep.
Taylor
So
Lewan.
I still think Baltimore covers with that 6.5, though.
I agree. All right, now this team. Hold on. I got to check my watch, make sure it's still 2 a time. It is still 2 a time. The Miami Dolphins at the Denver struggling Broncos.
Miami's looking pretty complete.
Yeah. At Denver, who knows what the weather's going to be like up there. Denver's plus 3.5. Their defense is struggling. Drew Lock looked more like Drew Lock we figured Drew Lock would look like, not the same as opposed to 2 and 3 weeks ago. So I'm going to take Miami on the road. Minus 3.5, but man, are they due for a letdown? I just wonder, are they due for a letdown? I don't know that Denver's defense is going to be the defense that makes a difference against Tua.
Denver's not going to be the team that does it against Miami. I agree. Like Miami, they still got to prove some things. I mean, Tua, we got 2 weeks, 3 weeks in now?
Yeah.
So
3 weeks, yeah.
Miami looks good. I'm taking Miami. It's always hard for teams that go to Denver, that mile high. It's a little bit different.
It is.
Like especially I said, if you're from Florida.
And we don't want to be all about, if every game with the weather, but at the same time, the weather does make a difference.
Miami looks so good right now with their defense, and they're complete with their running game. And Tua looks good. He's controlling the game. I'm taking Miami.
I was just looking to see what the next week comes up for the Miami Dolphins to see if the next defense is going to be the defense that stops them, and their next game is the Jets. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go on a limb here and say no, the Jets aren't going to be the defense that stops them.
I think they have the easiest schedule moving forward.
Goodness, I hope not. Cleveland Browns trying to make the playoffs. We got this. Are you kidding me? The 1 year that the Browns are doing well and they're winning, every other team is winning too?
Dude, there's
the Colts,
15 teams.
The Miami Dolphins.
This year there's 15 teams with 6+ wins.
Never have happened. It's never happened before.
But it's interesting, dude. And we're getting expanded playoffs.
Well, you know what I wonder is this. If a team is close to, this is again my conspiracy theory, but watch this happen. Remember, they said if they have to postpone any more games and move an extra week, that they'll open an extra playoff spot. What if one of these teams that's down there at the base and throws out the whole COVID thing? We got it because we have it, and they shut it down. They press to move it. They delay given the results. They do some shenanigans to make sure that game gets posted because they know if it just takes one game. I'm just saying.
Okay, so would you rather be your team, which actually is on the verge, and we actually technically could still make the playoffs, which is not going to happen.
Are you saying we as in the Cardinals?
So no, me as the Niners, coming off of a Super Bowl that we lost. Would you rather be in our situation or in your situation where you actually might have a chance to make the playoffs?
Oh, no, because it'll open it up. Yeah, I want the extra spot.
Okay.
I want the extra spot. I thought it was going to happen this week with Cleveland when they said they're shutting down the facility because a player got it. I was like, oh, here it is.
And the Raiders, didn't they?
Their whole defense.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. The Las Vegas Raiders entire starting defense has been put on the COVID-19 list and
shut down the facility.
They shut down the facility. Now they're still able to play as long as they have to keep continuing to get their negative tests. That is a wild situation. What if they can't? They will reschedule this game, and that will guarantee a Week 18, and that will guarantee another extra playoff spot, which the Raiders would absolutely need if they're trying to make it. I'm telling you, folks, there is a little bit more. There's some 4D chess being played at a high level that nobody was talking. And guess what? The NFL would love another week of football because you get more advertising, and then love another playoff team in.
But the NFL only has about a 2-week window with that. So they have some moves, yes, that they'll absolutely play correctly, make that money off of it. But if another piece has to be moved, then they're screwed.
Well, they have we talked about it earlier in the year. They do have the Super Bowl facility and all the hotels for 4 weeks after, so it could get pushed. It could absolutely get
they'll
pushed.
do whatever it will take. Or they'll just say, oh, yeah, we did tracing, and it's just those 10 guys, so we're still going to play the game.
Hey, we've seen crazier things.
Okay, so anyways, Miami.
Yes, exactly. Okay. All right, so moving on. Oh, boy. Whoa. The worst team in modern history, and this is coming from a Browns fan who went 131 for 2 seasons with Hugh Jackson.
And did you see Herbert's new haircut?
Oh, boy. If you haven't seen the pre-pubescent
he looks like
he looks like he's 13 years old.
13 years old with a new military haircut, but oh man.
Just back from boarding school.
Shouldn't have done it.
It does look terrible. But if he keeps dropping dimes and killing it on Sundays, who gives a what his hair looks like underneath that helmet? He's gonna have terrible helmet hair when he takes that helmet off. The helmet hair he's gonna have with this new cut is gonna be hilarious. But that's not what wins games.
Slept with the long hair, so it just covered everything. But whatever.
We got him at -8.5 right now. The line is at -9. They're in LA. It's the Jets. The Jets are terrible. They are running out, I believe, Joe Flacco again. Let's not be shocked at, well, look at what they did. They were up on New England, and no, the Jets are still terrible, and they're actively trying to lose. The Chargers have some fight in them. I think after last week's game and the week before that, -9 is a lot of points, though.
Yeah.
But they score, and the Jets, I just don't see the Jets scoring. So it's one of those things where the Chargers are going to get 31. Are the Chargers going to get, or the Jets going to get 21?
Yeah, I think they will. You look at it. The Jets suck.
Wow.
Herbert looks good. And I think that this is they've had so many of those close games where he puts up numbers. He's playing to win. And they are so close in so many games, but they just can't close it out. I think this is where they take the next step. This is the easiest team to take the next step on. I think they cover. I think it's a little bit difficult just because of the spread, but I'm still taking Herbert. So real quick,
I'm not. I'm
You're
taking
not?
the Jets minus the 9.
Oh,
I don't know what.
wow. Wow.
It's what you would expect to happen. I just crossed it out, and I'm taking the Jets. I just not that they're going to win, because they're definitely not going to win.
That's surprising. I'm
going to take the Jets. Yeah, this is a little bit of a contrarian pick.
I say you and I will make a side bet on that. But
all right.
Okay, so real quick with that, who do you think is better as far as rookie of the year if you're going to compare, Burrow or Herbert?
Ooh. Well, I mean, the season's not over yet. It could be Tua.
Correct, if we see enough. But I'm saying as of right now.
Between those two quarterbacks?
Just between those two.
I mean, Burrow looks like he is the guy.
Correct, but Herbert has a better season.
Yeah, no, he does.
Numbers-wise.
He does.
So, I don't know. I think Herbert is slightly ahead, but I think Burrow will end up winning anyways. We'll see.
Yes, I do. I agree. First off, it's going to a quarterback. So Justin Jefferson, people like that are not going to get.
Yeah,
they're not going to get this
he
pick.
Looks good,
he looks great. He's going to be. They're not missing Diggs one bit. But you're right. And I would say, I guess it wouldn't have mattered. Although I don't know if I think. Let me put it this way. I think Burrow does what Burrow is doing with the Chargers. I don't know if Herbert's doing what he's doing with the Bengals. If that makes sense.
Vice versa.
Yeah, I think Burrow does. Yeah. I don't think Herbert does. So I guess with that answers the question. Well, Joe Burrow.
Okay, fair enough. We'll see. But you're still going to be wrong with that. I can't believe you just picked the Jets. All right, so next game. So another game.
Now this is a tough one because we don't think Dallas is going to win this game one bit. But Minnesota. 7.5. Minnesota coming off a win like we said they would. The offense did struggle a little bit. Kirk got some yardage, but. Running game, I mean, Dalvin got 92. That's good against Chicago Bears defense, so I don't want to take anything away from that.
Yeah, you have to.
Dallas stinks. We know this. I feel like 7.5 is a lot, though, but I'll take Minnesota Vikings minus 7.5. Kirk Cousins at home, normal afternoon game. Yeah. We should be good to go.
I don't have it. Because it's 7.5, it's like one of those ones where you question it for a second, and then it's like, okay, well, it's Dallas. Like, unless, again, they run the heck out of the ball.
Yes, they do.
I still don't think they'll cover with Minnesota. I think Minnesota will still put up at least 8 points over.
At least 8 points over. Okay, yeah. I mean, if Dalvin Cook should be running all over them, so he should have a plus 100-yard game. Justin Jefferson should be able to. I mean, they really should eat on this team. So that does kind of just reinforce the fact that even though it's 7.5, that's the play.
If they get the running game going right, and then being able to do an option or draws, like they're going to be able to open up the field. So yeah, I take Minnesota.
All right, so this game, I feel like it's a trap game. Green Bay is an underdog at plus 2.5 at Indy. I know Indy has looked good at times, but Indy's also not looked good at times. Green Bay, they're probably the weakest 7-2 team in football.
They can't tackle.
We know the defense is not very good. They do have some dogs in the back end, though. That's what keep them corners in play.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers. Phillip Rivers, if it's coming down to who am I trusting, I'm not trusting Phillip Rivers. I'm trusting, oh my God, I'm talking myself. Green Bay is going to win this game.
I said this last week. And what happened? Phillip Rivers showed up and put up points.
Yes, he did. Is that your play this week? You think he shows up and puts up points?
No. I still believe in Aaron Rodgers more. So, yeah, with the spread of 2.5 points, I like Indy, but I think Green Bay is... This is another game to where they can show up, and it's not going to be that hard to cover, I don't think. I'm taking Green Bay.
All right, so now this game, there's a lot of caveats to it because if the Raiders' entire defense isn't allowed to play because of COVID, then obviously the Kansas City Chiefs are the no-brainer pick.
But the Raiders beat them by 8 in Week 5, right?
In Kansas City.
Correct.
This is
a 7?
It's a 7.
So
Raiders plus 7. KC on the road. I've got the
looking good.
Listen, bars. I've got the Las Vegas Raiders plus 7. I already had circled it.
You taking the Raiders?
I'm taking the Raiders plus 7.
I'm not doing it.
What in the hell is going on? How is it that I'm picking your family's teams and you're picking my teams?
I'm sorry.
We're in bizarro world.
Here's the deal. Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, they got something going. Dude,
agreed.
Their team looks good. I think they fixed the mistakes that they were making. Raiders look great. I'm excited to watch this game on Sunday night.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it.
But I'm going to take Kansas City with this one.
I mean, I know you just threw Pat Mahomes and Kelsey, but Carr and the Walrus are killing it.
Dude, there's so many. There's a lot of studs in this game. I still think that Kansas City they love this game against the Raiders. They love playing the Raiders.
Yeah.
And they lost at home.
Oh, they're coming in.
They want to come
swinging. I get it.
What, the Death Star?
Yeah.
They're going to win this game.
I can see it. That's why I took the Raiders +7. I didn't say the Raiders were going to win. I just got them covering.
All right.
It's a cheap way out because
maybe we'll make a double bet. We'll figure it out. We'll see. But yeah, no, Kansas City.
All right. And then a Monday night football game, also a banger of a game.
Yes.
What a way to end this. I almost said the season. To end the week. Monday night football. The Los Angeles Rams, who's looking like a complete team,
looked good against Seattle.
But Tampa Bay.
Defense won them that game. Caveat. I would say. Anyways.
Agreed.
Tampa Bay put a point, 43 points?
Yeah. That was their get-right game after getting smashed and embarrassed by Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay at home, -3.5 Monday Night Football. I did circle them before we started this. I said, they'll continue to roll. They're going to have their offense rolling. But as I say that, I'm changing my pick to the Los Angeles Rams. I think Aaron Donald is going to wreak havoc on Tom Brady. And when you get into Brady, it's game time, baby. They've got some dogs on the corners. They have safeties and linemen and linebackers that hit hard. A.Q. Shipley is now the starting center for Tampa Bay. He is a beast of a man.
Are you friggin' talking
this dude absolutely says he's worried about Aaron Donald. Everybody's worried about Aaron Donald. He's a physical freak. When the guy playing across from me says he's probably going to go down as the greatest defensive lineman of all time.
Oh, he's a friggin' beast, dude. I mean, he's massive.
I talked myself into the Rams. I guess I don't buy into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm not buying the avocado ice cream eating 43-year-old with capped teeth and a cleft chin.
Rams?
I'm not believing in it.
You think the Rams are anything better than the Tampa Bay?
I like the Rams defense better.
So you almost had me convinced because the more I think about it, the Rams are better coached. I don't like the coaching in Tampa Bay, at least for Tom Brady. They let him do a lot more with what he needed to do this week.
Which is what they should do. We've talked about that.
So if they played that type of ball, they played Tom Brady ball, and their defense shows up, I think this is a kind of an easier pick. The Rams are so hit and miss, and I know with what you're kind of saying the same thing with Tampa Bay, but I believe more in the Tampa Bay than the Rams.
Okay. Well, this is going to be one of those weeks where one of us is really going to suck ass.
We got like
we've got 4 or 5 that are different.
Yep. Okay. Well.
So, but that's okay. That's what this is for.
Okay. So, if you had to pick 3 games, and we talked about this, we looked up some of the spreads, right?
We did.
Your pick 3 of this week. What? You've gone back and forth. So before I go, because I'm
laughing. And ours are both end up being the same plus 629. So if you make this bet and put 100 on it and it hit, you'd win your 100 back plus 629.
Did you end up doing the exact same as mine?
No, I didn't pick the same ones. It ended up being the same odds.
The same odds. Okay.
No, and you just talking about all that with Tampa Bay, and I've got the Rams in my pick 3.
Okay.
At +4. I got the Cardinals +3. I got the Cincinnati Bengals +1. That's a 629 bet. Bet 100, win, cash out 729.
I got Cincy, Miami, and Green Bay. So same thing, 100, get 629.
Yeah.
I think those are pretty.
I like yours, but I didn't want to pick the same as yours. And you went first. I was like, damn, those are all good picks.
This is why you read them down first.
I had to go back through. So
it's all right. Okay, so bet those. Let us know if we win. If you want to throw some money in the way.
Hey, actually, a buddy of ours, Shark.
Yeah.
Shark. He placed a bet on some of these picks. He hit $100 this week. So thank you, Shark, he told me, he's like, hey, great show. I made some bets on your stuff and we hit a hundo.
Hey, keep it rolling. Let us know.
Because I will definitely let you know when I win. Yeah, I also lose, but I will. I've been on a hot streak lately. Last 3 weeks, I've cashed out over $3K.
And he texts me every time. He's like, hey,
check this out. Check this out. But then there's all the ones that you missed by one. You're like, oh, but I could have had more. Oh, they cost me. You know, like we talked about, Tampa Bay and New Orleans not covering cost me $1,200.
Oh, there was a lot that I
Dude,
could
if you
see.
just would have covered, if Tampa Bay could have scored 10 effing points, they had it covered.
Yes.
They had to pick the worst. It had to be the worst game in Tampa Bay, or in Tom Brady's history as far as scoring and everything. Had to fall on that one game when I placed my first week bets. Because it's all about me.
Because you got to learn your lesson real quick.
Absolutely, yeah. They're like, you're gonna take.
All right, so if you haven't noticed, we have the TV on, so we got the draft going on over here. So the NBA draft.
Absolutely.
So Wiseman, number one.
No.
Who went number one?
Edwards.
Anthony Edwards from Georgia.
Yeah, went number one.
And then who did the Warriors take?
The Warriors took Wiseman.
Took Wiseman. Yes, I love that pick.
Number 3 went
LaMelo
Ball, and the entire Ball family.
to Jordan
invading Charlotte, North Carolina. Michael Jordan, who, if we recall, LeVar Ball talked mad smack about being able to play Mike and beat him in one-on-one. I guarantee you, first off, Michael's probably going to put the smack down. Your dad can't come to the complex.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be the first thing. And if he does show up, I hope he does, and he better bring his shoes because I'm going to walk his ass on the court and embarrass him off of television.
If I was Jordan, I'd get his own little chair, set it courtside, set that there, have his name on there, even give him a little Michael Jordan shoes, give him a little outfit, and then be like, all right, homie.
I heard you were talking, and you know what? And just like in my 10-part docuseries, I took it personal. Dude. So he's going to say, he's going to let me go, well, I took it personal.
Oh, and he'll want to prove a point?
Absolutely.
Just to have, even if it's just to have fun.
Michael will go into emergency hernia surgery because he dunked on him. No warm-up, just dunked on him. Like he did on Patrick Ewing, talking.
Still going to be awesome. I hope he does it, but I don't know. If we can dream.
And then just like that, the 4th pick came. I have no idea who it is. We've lost interest in the NBA draft.
Yeah, there's a couple of international players I'm interested. But
that's the one that just went. There you go. Just went to, I think that's the
Wizards.
Washington Wizards. I almost called, dude, I'm so old. I almost called them the Washington Bullets.
Did you hear about James Harden turning down $103 million over 2 years? He was going to be the first player to make over $50 million a year. Turned it down because he wants to go to the Nets.
Now, they still have him for 3 more years.
Which is exactly why this is the craziest thing to me.
Why in the hell? First off, if I'm Houston, they lost their head coach, they went cheap. They lost their GM, they went cheap.
Yep.
They are in no need.
Westbrook wants out.
Yeah, but guess what? If I have you under contract for 3 years, 3 more years, and you guys are whining that you want out, I love what one of their, I guess, higher up execs said, and what he said was, we're willing to get uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
We're willing to get uncomfortable. We're willing to have you on the team, and you're going to play, because guess what? If you do not play, you don't get paid. I know you're guaranteed, but if we deactivate you because you refuse to play, you're not getting paid, brother.
And they are not going to give him up. They have the leverage. They're not going to give him up unless you give up a dramatic amount of picks and half of your quality team, which if Brooklyn, I almost said New Jersey, if Brooklyn does that, are you going to rely just on those 3 or 4 studs? Or I don't see any other team I don't see a team giving up that much, but you're not going to give him up before Russell Westbrook. If Russell Westbrook doesn't go anywhere, you're not trading Harden first, because then Russell Westbrook isn't worth anything.
Right. No, I agree. First off, I'm on Houston's side with this. Oh, you guys don't want to be here?
Yeah.
Maybe it does suck, and I understand not wanting to be there, but, bro, we got you under contract for 3 more years. If you thought you wanted out, you shouldn't have signed you shouldn't have signed that long of a contract. Bottom line, shouldn't have signed that long of a contract. So I don't feel bad for him.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you turn down that money, because guess what? In 3 years when his contract's up, he's going to get that money anyways. He'll probably get more.
But if he signs it now, it's guaranteed, and by that time, then he can even get...
how much money has James Harden already made?
Oh, I don't know.
So does it really matter?
Before or after?
Dude, these guys make so much money, and they necessarily, a lot of them don't spend a lot of them are into gaming. A lot of them spend their money on gaming. They play,
no, I agree.
It's one of those things that I'm not going to feel bad for.
$20 million doesn't feel that bad.
Get uncomfortable.
but they're not going to get traded. So, anyways, still, Street, you should have got your first NFL sack, and that was the worst call in at least calls this year. But I'm sorry, Drew Brees. You got your ass handed to you, and that was a perfect tackle. Anyways, interesting week.
It is. I'm looking forward to this week. Like you said, a lot of good games coming up. Can't wait.
Got Thanksgiving next week.
Got Thanksgiving next week.
It's gorgeous
I'm
out. This
smoking
is why
2 turkeys.
Oh my gosh.
Smoking 2 turkeys on a microphone.
Oh.
It
You
fit.
need to take a picture.
It fit.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, so what, are you guys doing Thanksgiving here?
No, so my family's going to do a thing. We're just going to be here by ourselves. I'm smoking the 2 turkeys. One's going to my Nana's house that my dad's going to come pick up. The other one's staying here for us. We're just going to hang low key.
Chill.
Yeah, because we do Christmas Eve. We have everybody here, and
We do everything. Yeah, we were rotating, but my brother's coming back from the military,
Right on.
and so he's bringing back a bunch of military buddies and his new
Fantastic.
and his new lady.
Fantastic.
So she gets to meet the family.
Oh boy,
But there's gonna be so many of them that they're doing their thing. So we're gonna do our thing, just keep it low key too.
that's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
Well, this was a great episode. Longer than usual. We're at about 40 minutes, but it was
Sorry.
well worth it. We kept you here. Are you not entertained?
We covered a lot.
We did. We covered a lot. We crossed paths into basketball. We keep pointing the TVs there. Trust us. There's a TV there. We're going to do some renovations on the man cave, continue the studio work over here.
See some new things.
And like we've been saying, I think, I feel like everybody's kind of tensions have dropped a little bit. I feel, even though the entire country's going on lockdown again, but I feel like people are kind of not such a heightened awareness of everything going on and people kind of at edge. I feel like it's kind of back down a
Everybody's
little
kind
bit.
of like realized like, okay, let's take a breath.
Yeah.
Let's chill for a sec.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even when you're a little mad, it's like, man, it's been a long time. Like, let's chill.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So keep doing what you're doing
Yes.
because it's working. So
Take a breath
it takes
every
all
once
of
in a
us.
It does.
Trust the process.
It's hard. And for one thing, I do want to say thank you for all those parents because all these kids at home through all this and trusting that process.
Absolutely.
That's a hard thing to do. We go through it, but it is still good looking out for those parents.
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
a lot.
The unsung heroes of the pandemic,
Yes.
the parents,
I agree.
not the kids.
So we're kind of tooting our own horn. But
I do happen to be a stay-at-home
Yeah.
dad.
Here you go for you.
Hey. All right, thanks, bro. All right, so with that, James out west.
I'm Ryan Rooks.
We will see you guys next week. Enjoy. Be
Thanks,
safe.
guys.
Be happy.
One love.